that was wrong, or a foul that should have been called that wasn't called, or vice versa. Give me a 48-minute report. And people that will understand that there's so many mistakes that the referees make over the course of the game that referees, ready folks, don't decide the outcome.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
How fragile are these guys? It's amazing. They're supposed to be the greatest athletes in the world, and yet they can't walk and chew gum at the same time without getting hurt, for goodness sakes.
That Trout injury really is a bummer, too, because people thought he was going to have a big year. And I look, I don't feel bad for the Angels. I don't like Mike Trout in Anaheim. I thought he should have left when his contract was up.
In-game live, prime time, only on SportsGrid.
Devastating loss to Georgia Tech, where they made significant coaching errors, but Miami, with all of these changes, obviously looking to churn over this roster and upgrade the talent level.
Don't sleep on Rick Pitino. Listen, at the end of the day, the portal is the portal, Mike. Don't matter where you came from, it's where you're going and how much money can you get.
Inside the transfer portal, only on SportsGrid.
And now you have to qualify, and these majors, you got to go do it, man. Like, and it just comes off really petty to sit up there and be like, I'm not.
You know what you signed up for, so I don't like the pettiness. And I 100% think Taylor Gooch should be in the major championships. So in the same note, I'm saying this, but also it's like, hey, this is the world in which we live in right now, and you don't deserve anything.
Only on SportsGrid.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. It's a pain-free Friday. Ferrall's doling out Minnesota mahogany, waxing it up 100. 200, the bad seed, the broken, the bad apple. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh, people dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shake-it-up, along with the unequaled Carver High. Mafia running it with Luke, I am your father. This is Coast to Coast on SportsGrid, like you read about it today. Over the next 3 hours. We've got Morency in Vancouver. He'll never live down that he turned on the Rangers and Mafia yesterday. And we'll hit all of that with him. Gino Bacola from the Daily Racing Form, getting ready for Pimlico and the Preakness on Saturday. Plus, Coach James Young on the Lion's Share, getting ready for the Knicks and Pacers at the Fieldhouse tonight. Davis Maddock of Fantasy Sports Today will join us and give us his breakdown and picks for a Friday. And my buddy, Scotty Miller, the great Major League Baseball writer from the New York Times, we will also hang out with him. Carver High, what a day at the PGA. It started off in tragedy as a vendor, is hit by a bus outside of Valhalla and dies in the pouring rain, in the darkness at 6 a.m., a chaotic traffic jam and scene with ambulances, cops, and fans and buses trying to get into the course, backed up for miles. Scotty Scheffler, the number one player in the world, was having none of it, apparently. Decided he was going to move around the bus. Saw a guy with a yellow coat on, didn't know allegedly that he was a cop, until that said man was hanging on his car, and he drove 20 yards with the guy hanging for his life, finally stopping him at the entrance to Valhalla, where he proceeded to get yanked out of the car and racked by the Louisville Police Department, stuffed in the back of a car, taken to the police station, pictured, fingerprinted, mugshot, the whole deal, run through the gamut, and then finally gets back to the course with a half hour to get ready for his round, proceeds to go out and birdie the first hole, and he has moved up the leaderboard to 9 under, having such a horrible day. I say the Louisville Police Department should drop the charges by sunset unless they want further embarrassment, because they have been sexually abused today on social media like no other. The charges are endless. Vehicle, 3 or 4 charges, assaulting a cop. Jesus, what didn't they make up? You can't trust the po-po ever. They'll turn it into your worst nightmare. What a day at Valhalla, and we haven't even talked golf.
We haven't even talked golf, and you're right. What a bizarre scene to wake up to this morning. Of course, I woke up getting the kids to school. The first thing I do is, all right, we got the first tee off coming up here in 5 minutes. Oh, no, I guess we don't. Seeing that news about Scheffler this morning, it didn't seem to affect him today, that's for sure, as he just made a birdie on 7 to get the 9 under. He's tied for second, and he's 2 shots back of Colin Morikawa, who just bogeyed his last hole of the day after he was on a 4-birdie heater. Pretty weird, right, Scotty? You know what else I found extremely strange about the entire situation? And look, I think this has been brought up a lot. Tragedy, what happened with the man outside. That's the real thing today to his family and everything. That's awful, what happened outside of Valhalla. And I didn't know he was a vendor. That's the first I was hearing that when you just said that he was going in with the pedestrian who was struck outside. Have you ever seen a faster arrest, orange jumpsuit, mugshot, release ever?
In history.
In history, those things all in that order happened in like a 70-minute span. How is that? That's wild.
I think that he should. I think he should wear all orange on Sunday when he's up by 7 strokes on the final round of the PGA Championship, and black and white striped prison shoes, cleats. Needs to have them made by Nike immediately. He should wear all orange jumpsuit style, Ricky Fowler style on Sunday. I'll tell you this much. He said he didn't know the guy was a cop. One thing that I think he's got going for him is he never opened his mouth. He never allegedly said, don't you know who I am? I'm the number 1 player in the world. I'm Scott Scheffler. He didn't do any of that. He just said, I'm a player. I'm supposed to be here. And the cop was such a dork that he was having none of it. Or that fat lieutenant that was screaming at Darlington to go over to the sidewalk. He's going to jail. These cops, you wonder why. Honestly, what happened in Minneapolis, this Floyd. These cops now that we have, honestly, are so stupid that it's like everyone is like guilty immediately. And then they start hammering them into a car, tagging them, cuffing them, cranking them, putting them in the backseat. Everyone's guilty. Well, you're going downtown, mister. You're finished. I hold all the cards. I'm the police. I have a gun. I'm in charge here. That's what's wrong with cops today in America, is what happened today with this golfer at this golf tournament. The car said PGA Tour Championship player car. How stupid are you? Oh, it was in the dark. It was raining. Every excuse in the world. You know what they need to do is what I said earlier. Drop all the charges. The fact that guy is going to have to go back to Louisville to face a judge is laughable. And I'll tell you another thing. If I were him, you know what I would say? I am never coming back to this broken-ass, backward-ass hillbilly state again for the rest of my life, even if you have the U.S. Open here. I'm done with you, Hill Jacks. See you later. You're all a bunch of nimrods. I thought the police, what I saw today was so embarrassing. And then the aftermath is so funny. I sent you a clip that's so funny, you won't even air it on SportsGrid because you don't have the stones. I mean, honestly, the abuse that the police are getting in Louisville right now for what they did to this guy is unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And I got to be honest with you, it's awful what happened to that guy, and no one cares. No one cares about him. They only care about Scotty Scheffler, and they all pretend like they care. Oh, we feel so bad for the guy that got run over by a bus and his family. And, PGA, ESPN, all their announcers. Oh, the tragedy of the – it was an awful thing what happened to that guy. But no one in reality cares about him at all. They only care about that guy got a mugshot.
No doubt about that. And look, he also said he was kind of doing what everyone else was doing. I guess there was a bunch of player cars who were going around and getting in, and his happened to be the one where I guess the cops said enough was enough. I guess with all the cops, with all the cars
that was going by. He's a Rory fan. That's why he did it.
He put a statement out as well. You know, here's the other thing they have going for them. The guy that it happened to is like the choir boy of the PGA Tour. So of course he just goes, you know, I never intended anything to happen. I'm sorry for everything that happened. He's not going to put up a fight with anything. And you're right. They won't make him go to court next week. This will all be washed away well before his appearance ticket, which I think they said is next Wednesday or Thursday.
It should be done by today. Today, they should drop the charges. They are now the laughing stock of American police departments. The Louisville PD. Nice job, boys. Keep up the good work. Oh, what are you going to do? Come get me in New York because I make fun of you? Oh, what are you going to gonna send me some hate mail? Ooh, I'm so scared of the white loser cop in Louisville, Kentucky. You backward-ass, non-educated hack. Nice job today, doofus.
Before we go to break, we have to also at least say here in the open, Paul Skenes looks ridiculous today for the Pirates as he struck out the first 7 batters that he faced today, and he went 9 up, 9 down to start the day out at Wrigley. Don't forget that.
His stuff is so filthy. I need a respirator.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
A lot of books, and outside of the New York area, the Canes are actually favored in Game 1 of this series. I'm seeing it right now. I'm looking. I see a -115 Canes, Rangers -105.
I like the 6 and 7 games prop, like I took with Boston, Toronto, which we now know is going to cash. I think it's got a chance to go the distance. It's going to be a long, tough, close series.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
The Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah, 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL, ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in like the second or third inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
A surprise winner on the PGA Tour. Taylor Pendrith ends up winning his first PGA Tour win. He was pretty darn lucky to win. Ben Poles should have won that tournament, also seeking his first PGA Tour victory. He went into the 18th hole, the easiest hole on the golf course, with a one-shot lead, and he was there in 2, just less than 30 feet from the cup.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Dude, did you know BetMGM has responsible gambling tools so you don't get carried away?
I never get carried away. Well, there were the bobbleheads. And the playoff beer.
Chili's ready!
Well, those tools could really help.
Don't forget about the backyard rink.
Yeah, these tools are pretty great.
BetMGM is committed to making gambling safe and fun with responsible gambling tools, so you don't get carried away.
Every night during the weekdays, you can catch the Sports Rage show with Morency top shelf status. It's on all of our affiliates on the TV side, OTTs they call them. Every TV format, you can get it on all these, different TVs that have SportsGrid, and you know the deal. And then radio, you got Mighty or 10 out of ESPN in San Diego, from Mexico to the Canadian Rockies, all over the West Coast. Sports Byline USA, all their great affiliates, SiriusXM, Channel 159, Sports Rage, kicking everyone else's teeth in the business at night. And he did tell me one day that it was relatively easy doing it, like taking over the world. It was easy. He said it was really he said he's had a harder time drinking with me in Las Vegas than taking over the radio and TV world at night across North America. But he will have to suffer the consequences today on Coast to Coast of diving off of the Rangers-Canucks prediction for the Stanley Cup final. That has already been erased from his resume after he decided that the Hurricanes were suddenly going to win the Stanley Cup and beat the Rangers last night in Raleigh. And I bet the Rangers at plus 130 and the Canucks at 122, as you know, and you are a quitter. And that's all I know. And I have never known you to be a quitter. And I'm highly disappointed in you. And you need to start drinking immediately for tonight's show.
I was feeling pretty good about it when they were leading 3-1 in the third period. I tell you what, I'm like, I told everybody it was going 7. I'm like, I told you. Right? And then, boom, it was the Chris Kreider show. Unbelievable, legendary performance by Kreider. Listen, Ranger fans are aware of all the similarities to 1994, but it really is getting pretty eerie right now that Mark Messier scored. That Mark Messier scored a hat trick in the second round in the game 6. So I don't know why I fought it, Scotty. It's already been written in stone, and you see Vancouver quietly just keep winning, and they're one win away from moving on here right now. This thing is starting to get real, man. Canucks and Rangers, 94 all over again. Or let's not forget, the Canucks also played the Boston Bruins in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Right.
2011. So there's a couple of potential rematches out there, but great job by the Rangers, because I tell you, if they would have lost, I think the collapse would have been complete. I don't think they would have won Game 7. They needed to get it done last night. They did. Chris Kreider took over. Shesterkin had some nice saves. And it's, all over but the crying. And, of course, we have the legendary kid that busted into tears after the Rangers scored.
Oh, that's too bad. What a shame. I'll tell you this. I don't agree with that. I think that the Rangers would have won Game 7, and by winning last night, I think they kind of proved it. They're just a better team. I think the Canes and Don Waddell overrated again. Laviolette, the last guy to win a cup in Raleigh, and he goes back with the Rangers and eliminates him. Now you wonder if Waddell's actually going to do a deal, a multi-year deal with Rod Brindamore, or if he's going to let him walk and go somewhere else, whether it's Utah or otherwise. Do you think they will let him go or do a deal as they continue to fail in the Stanley Cup playoffs?
I think Rod Brindamore could be the next coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
At this point, I think it would be a good fit. It would make a lot of sense. The Leafs are sort of looking for somebody that the players will respect and that can get the best out of them. I don't think, and no disrespect to Keefe. I thought Keefe was all right, but he was sort of a yes man, organizational type of guy. I think it is the end of the line right now. Brindamore wanted to sign an extension earlier in the year, was willing to. And I don't pretend to be a hockey insider when it comes to contract deals, but I do know about this one, that Carolina's owners basically told him, let's see how it plays out. Well, it just didn't play out very good, did it? Like, Carolina expect to win. They haven't. I think they might think, you know what, Brindamore's taken us as far as he can. He'll get hired right away. There's no one's going to dispute that. He's a very good coach. He's been with the same team for a long time right now, and I do believe some of the names that they throw out there with the Leafs, basically, how the hockey world's got. It's the same guys over and over and over. Once you're in for life. Like you and I, we shouldn't have been talk show hosts, bro. We should have been hockey coaches. You have a job for life.
No.
Like, seriously.
Stop. Time out. I got 5 left. Time out there. Now, listen.
Or we should be like Doug Gottlieb and do both if they would let us.
Bro, in a heavy metal band. I would have been in your band. I would have been the drummer or the bass player. We would have been tagging chicks. Are we on the air right now? We are. We would have been rock stars. I don't want anything to do with being a coach, because the day you're hired is the day you're fired. Now, take me back And you know you would have been a rock star. You're a rock star now. You're out in the studio jamming with your new guitar. I mean, I don't even want to hear it. A hockey coach, my ass. The prime minister should be a hockey coach, not you. You're a rock star. That's it. You and Lemmy, we would have been simple. Sunset Strip, drunk, chicks all over us.
We'd be with Lemmy right now, probably.
Tell me about how the Canucks got it done with JT Miller late last night.
Resiliency. Absolute resiliency. Listen, it was somewhat not predictable, but the Canucks did not play very well in Game 4. They played terrible. It was one of their worst games of the year, not just the playoffs. They had one game where they were kind of average against Nashville, but even in the regular season, they had such a great year, they really didn't have too many clunkers, per se. They had an early one early in the year, I think against Philadelphia, like the second or third game of the year. There might have been one really, I think they had like one terrible game around Christmas once. It was like, what the hell? They lost like 5-0. They've been so good at bouncing back. They're very self-reflective, the Vancouver Canucks. Like Rick Tocchet is very self-reflective, and they're very analytical, and I don't mean about numbers analytics, but they know where they're at mentally all the time, psychologically. He's very good at getting his team. And he said, I had 5 to 7 passengers. Well, those 5 to 7 passengers last night were crashing and banging. They stepped up. Plus, Seelovs is just a great story between the pipes.
When we come back, we'll talk about what Skenes is doing at Wrigley right now. Unreal.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
A lot of books. And outside of the New York area, the Canes are actually favored in Game 1 of this series. I'm seeing it right now. I'm looking. I see a -115 Canes, Rangers -105.
I like the 6 and 7 games prop, like I took with Boston, Toronto, which we now know is going to cash. I think it's got a chance to go the distance. It's going to be a long, tough, close series.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
The Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah, 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL, ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in like the second or third inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
A surprise winner on the PGA Tour. Taylor Pendrith ends up winning his first PGA Tour win. He was pretty darn lucky to win. Ben Poles should have won that tournament. Also seeking his first PGA Tour victory, he went into the 18th hole, the easiest hole on the golf course, with a one-shot lead, and he was there in 2, just less than 30 feet from the cup.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
I got to tell you, so he's got 12 up, 12 down. He's got the first 7 guys up he struck out. Then he struck another one out, and he's got 2 ground outs, maybe 3. 12 up, 12 down, 8 strikeouts, and he's unbelievable, Skenes. And you know what's funny is that he's actually smiling at times when he's doing it. He's throwing, listen to this, on 3-2 counts, he'll throw 5 straight fastballs, right, to Happ or whatever, and then he'll get him with an 87-mile-an-hour slider change where he changes speeds dramatically from a $101 to 87, and a high-risk pitch to throw when you've thrown 5 straight fastballs to take that much mileage off of your stuff and throw a hook. And watching guys just buckle and swing and miss filthy stuff, that he has the stones to throw that pitch, and he's smiling doing it. He's like, he realizes now in 2 starts against the same team that no one can hit him.
That's what's so incredibly impressive about this. Now, a lot of players get hyped up and there's potential, but they haven't done it yet. He's a little bit different, this guy. He's done it, right? He was dominant at LSU. He was absolutely dominant in the minor leagues, as we saw. And, like 41 strikeouts in 27 innings, gave up 1 home run only. I'm looking right now, and here we go, National League Rookie of the Year, and he's 14-1 right now. He's 14-1. So he's in the bigs, he's dominant, and super impressive. Like you said, the Cubs saw him. So a lot of times, I don't care who you are, guys, big league hitters are good and smart. It only takes them a couple of at-bats to recognize your stuff. And then, once they've seen you, and then there's tape, and they know they're facing you again, I actually was curious to see what would happen, Scott. Well, he's better now than he was in his first start. Against a big league team that can hit the ball in the Cubs, that have already seen him, super impressive. I'm looking at the Rookie of the Year odds right now, but the only unique thing about this is you have these Japanese dudes, these pitchers.
Yeah, Imanaga, Yamamoto.
They're not really rookies, though, are they? You know what I mean? They're big league rookies. Like, put it this way. If I was a voter, I'd be looking more at Skenes. If Skenes keeps on putting up numbers, I'd be like, he's a real rookie. He's a kid out of LSU. The guy pitched it was in college last year, and he's dominating big league hitters right now. Yamamoto is the freaking MVP of the Japanese league. You know what I mean? If they had a rookie, okay. Same with Imaga. I mean, the guy's been around, man, right? So he's not really a rookie, but it is what it is. But I'm just saying for everybody out there, Paul Skenes, 14-1 right now, Rookie of the Year. That's what the odds are.
9 strikeouts, 3 groundouts, 12 up, 12 down, struck out the first 7 guys that he faced. And you know what? As a Pirate fan, and Sherapan is the consigliere at the game right now with his Clemente hat on, styling out in the bleachers. As a Pirate fan, I literally don't even care to watch them bat because they're so bad hitting. They're up 5-0, but they're not a good hitting team. They're really not. A lot of nights they score very few runs and guys strike out all night long. It's embarrassing, their lineup. But I just want to watch him pitch. He's so good. I'm going from golf to when he's pitching, he's 1 out or 1 inning away, 3 outs from getting the win because they're up 5, and they're going to let him pitch the 5th, but they won't let him pitch past the 5th. They cut him off at like 75 pitches. He's at 60 now. So if he goes out and pitches the 5th, he'll get the win, I think. We'll see. The last time they played, he left in the 5th. They were up 6-1, and they won 10-9 after a 3-hour rain delay. Who do you like tonight in Boston? Panthers and Bruins, and in Colorado, Avs and Stars, Morency.
I got to be honest. It's sort of like the NCAA tournament, Scott. When you have the Thursday, Friday slates. I like the Vancouver-Edmonton days better. You know what I mean? And I've had a hard time with these series, like with the end with Florida and Boston. And same thing, I've had a hard time with Dallas and Colorado, even though I have been on Dallas more than not, and I picked Dallas to win the series. I don't know if you guys talked about it yet. I know the show just started, but what a coincidence, Scott, that the fire alarms went off during the Florida Panthers morning nap after the morning skate this morning at the hotel.
Oh, wow.
To evacuate the hotel. So they're already playing games, but Bruins are going to extend this. I say the Bruins extended and the Avs extended. We're going 7 in both.
Well, there you go, Morency. Have a great show tonight. Have an awesome weekend. Thanks, buddy.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
A lot of books, and outside of the New York area, the Canes are actually favored in Game 1 of this series. I'm seeing it right now. I'm looking. I see a -115 Canes, Rangers -105.
I like the 6 and 7 games prop, like I took with Boston, Toronto, which we now know is going to cash. I think it's got a chance to go the distance. It's going to be a long, tough, close series.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
The Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah, 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL, ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in like the second or third inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
A surprise winner on the PGA Tour. Taylor Pendrith ends up winning his first PGA Tour win. He was pretty darn lucky to win. Ben Poles should have won that tournament. Also seeking his first PGA Tour victory, he went into the 18th hole, the easiest hole on the golf course, with a one-shot lead, and he was there in 2, just less than 30 feet from the cup.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
To do, Carver High, but I'm very emotional watching this kid pitch. 12 up, 12 down, 9 strikeouts. He's a 5th inning away from basically, in his second start in the show, a perfect game. Like, because they're only going to let him pitch 5 innings. They're not going to let him keep going 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not happening. That's how they control him. They baby him. But his stuff is so electric that I just said to you that every person in that stadium, including broadcasters, players, fans, both teams, everyone knows they're seeing something different, something unique, something special. This guy, to me, they say Strasburg. I thought of Kerry Wood's 20 strikeout game at Wrigley Field. I'll never forget that. This guy's stuff is so electric that I think there's going to come a time, obviously, he's going to throw no-hitters in perfect games. He is so filthy, his stuff, that they are watching something they've never seen before today. Cubs saw it at PNC. Now they're seeing it again, and I'm sure they thought, hey, we're going to see him for a second time. We've already seen him 4 or 5 at-bats each. This is a piece of cake. And he's made him look worse this time than he did the first time, Mike.
That's what's the most impressive thing about it. You would think the first time you see a team, the first time they see stuff like his, that you would have a problem. They just saw it less than a week ago. This is the second time these Cub hitters, and he's giving a bigger performance than 4 perfect innings, 9 strikeouts, as you said. He has 64 pitches through those 4 innings. So that's the unfortunate part. He's probably going to get in the 80-ish range after he finishes off the 5th, and they're not going to let him go any further than that. And his day's going to be done after 5 innings. But they're at least going to give him a chance to get the win. Clearly, they're up 6-0 right now. Let him get his 3 outs, get his 10th strikeout, hopefully, and finish it off.
I bet him at -110. It was a pick 'em this morning. That's how much respect he's getting already. Because Hendricks is a great pitcher for the Cubs, right? At some level. He's one of their best, and if not the best. And then this guy is eating him alive.
He is. Tremendous performance by Skenes today. Welcome. And you know what I like about him, too? And I went and watched a couple of the strikeouts while you were talking to Gabe. Is like you say, he kind of gives these guys like a little look, like, you can't hit me. Like, he's got a little bit of like
Right, that smile.
That attitude. He's got that attitude with him, that brashness to go along with his stuff where he's like, I don't care if it's my second major league start. I'm here to get you out, and I'm going to enjoy doing it. And you guys are all the visiting fans are going to hate me because I'm striking your guys out, and I'm going to let them know about it. I like the kid's personality, too. Kid's got a good personality.
I said to my son, he could have a pitch every 5 days, eat steaks, drink beer, stay in the Four Seasons. What a life. I mean, another hit.
For sure.
The Pirates are scoring in droves.
Can we hit some homers here? Jeez, can we get a couple of homers?
I'm wearing my Bucko hoodie today. I didn't wear it on TV. I'll get in trouble with the red phone. So I stayed up, but I got it right over here. I may have to bust out like Sherapan. I may have to bust out my Willie Stargell. I got it all going.
Now, you were just telling me about all these guys with this beer that they have at Wrigley now, the Big V and all the. If there's anyone who is going to be looking to tap into something like that in the next hour or so, it is Scotty Scheffler, who just finished his round, a 5-under 66 that gets him to 9-under for the tournament. He is done. They just showed him walking in to the tent to sign his scorecard and turn it in. That guy, if I was him, Scotty, that's an immediate 19th hole. And someone else is driving. You know what? Get somebody to drive me back today. I'm not driving myself back.
Another thing, that's Mike, it. How about this cop, the police report that came out now within the last 30 minutes, talking about this guy's brutal injuries and his torn pants and his swelling and his concussions and his wrist and his ankle and his knee and his – I mean, these people – I am telling – what do you mean, you people? These people they are asking for problems. They keep trying to push it that this guy is guilty and they're going to hang him at high noon in the town square. And the more the cops open their fat, filthy, halitosis mouths, the worse it's getting for them. The fact that they're now talking about this cop Gillis, whatever his name is, it's not McElroy, that this cop Gillis, that's his name. I mean, it's gone public. He's a cop. He's a public figure. Let's get into reality. You're a wussy, and you need to tell him to drop the charges because your life is about to end. They are going to ruin this guy's life. His wife's going to leave him. She's going to start sleeping with his best friend. The chief of police, his career is over. Over. They continue to try to push it that Scheffler's some kind of bank robber. I mean, it is the most unbelievable story. They are making it worse by the minute. And you know why? It's because they're so stupid and hillbilly in that backward-ass state. And you can quote me on that. I mean, these people are as dumb as they come. Can you believe that press release they just put out? They're trying to act like this guy just murdered 10 people and he's on the run.
Yeah, this could have went a much different way this morning. It could have went a much different way.
The cops don't let it go the other way because they're so stuck in their minds that everyone's guilty and they're going to show them who's boss. I've never met a cop in my life, and I got a lot of friends that are cops, and they're all the same. They're Chuck in charge. Chuck in charge with that badge and gun. They want to throw their power around like no other. They're worse than principals in high schools. There's nothing worse than the principal. And then the vice principal thinks he's got some stones, too. I took those guys on when I was in grade school. They were amateurs compared to me. I ate them alive. These cops are no different than them. They think they're such badasses. When they don't have their badge and gun on, what are they doing? They're involved in corruption.
And you talk about right place, right time. That guy Darlington from ESPN being in the right place, right time, getting his phone out. He got all the footage of that going on this morning at 7:00 outside that Valhalla. So they are playing, by the way. Morikawa's in the lead at 11 under. Xander's on the course. Of course, he shot that 62 yesterday for 9 under. He has made a birdie in his first 4 holes here this afternoon, so he's one back of Morikawa.
He's talking right now. He's doing interviews, this guy. I can't even believe he's doing interviews, Scheffler.
This is obviously right now what you're watching and we're watching is the first interview that he's doing since all the incidents of this morning. We'll see if we can get some of that maybe turned around, Scotty, for later on here on Coast to Coast, so we can hear a little bit of Scotty Scheffler. Let's start, and we'll be in and out with the golf and with Skenes over at Wrigley. We'll let you know what's going on with all that. We'll start this and finish it after the break, and that is last night's NBA game. Of course, we got a big one tonight in Indiana with the Knicks and the Pacers. I know that you talk about losing weight. I know that you're losing weight, and I didn't even realize this, by the way. I didn't plan this because I'm not a Knicks fan, but I did do the orange and blue for the Knicks today.
Oh, nice!
Even though I'm not a
Knicks
Knicks fan, even though I'm not a Knicks fan, I realized after the fact that I got the Knicks colors on.
You look
for Coast to Coast
fantastic.
today.
I can see you right there.
We will come back, and we will get into last night. There isn't much to talk about other than that they're going to play a Game 7 between Denver and Minnesota after the Timberwolves absolutely cleaned them out last night in Minnesota. In fact, let me at least sneak in before the break Anthony Edwards going off, Scotty, on ESPN last night.
2 to shoot. Murray spinning, has to force it up. How about that Timberwolves D? Edwards a 3. You bet. Minnesota hasn't shot it well from 3 either, but they've dominated every other facet of the game. Here's Edwards in the corner. Connects on a 3.
Listen, all of them, Alexander Walker, Conley, Edwards 4, those others 3, McDaniels 3, Garza even hit a bomb in garbage time. So they had it all going last night. Yet, that's the third straight terrible NBA game I've watched. 30-point or more blowout. The playoffs are turning into a disaster when every game's a 30-point blowout.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Reading a lot of books. And outside of the New York area, the Canes are actually favored in Game 1 of this series. I'm seeing it right now. I'm looking. I see a -115 Canes, Rangers -105.
I like the 6 and 7 games prop, like I took with Boston, Toronto, which we now know is going to cash. I think it's got a chance to go the distance. It's going to be a long, tough, close series.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
The Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah, 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL, ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in the second or third inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
A surprise winner on the PGA Tour. Taylor Hendrick ends up winning his first PGA Tour win. He was pretty darn lucky to win. Ben Poles should have won that tournament. Also seeking his first PGA Tour victory, he went into the 18th hole, the easiest hole on the golf course, with a one-shot lead, and he was there in 2, just less than 30 feet from the cup.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Really want to talk about it much more other than to say he's doing a presser right now, and he literally just said he was like having sandwiches with them at the police station, and they were asking for autographs and taking pictures with him, cracking jokes. He said he was shaking like a leaf, and that he asked one of the cops to just spend time with him to calm him down, and he did that, and he said he was cracking jokes with me, and we were laughing. He's like, once they figured out who I was, and that's just all there is to it. The police, the way he's talking, that they're heroes, and thank God we have such great police, and they were so wonderful to me and so awesome. Can you imagine these morons if they continue to press forward with this and try to go to the well with it? They have to drop these charges by the time the sun goes down. They have to.
Well,
or they will never get through the day. That police chief's career will end. I promise you that. His career will end. He'll have death threats, and someone will set his house on fire, because that's what they do everywhere else now. Whenever Trump does anything, they go and set some guy's house on fire and threaten judges. They break into Pelosi's home. That guy got 30 years today. I mean, we live in a world now. Civil war. Kill him.
Look, he's gonna say all the right things, because obviously he knows this is probably gonna get wiped away. He knows that there's no reason to drag this on any further. Mafia made a point to you in the break that's true too, and I thought about that this morning. All these people of power in that town are probably all members of that Valhalla Golf Club, and they want to make sure that they get more majors that come through there. They don't want to mess with any of that either. Trust me, they will make sure that this is not a bigger deal than it was made this morning with him. That's gonna go. They're not gonna go drag him into some court next week in Louisville
that cop,
to stand in front of a judge.
It's just no. Detective, no one cares about your injuries at all. No one, not even little children.
Well,
no one.
yeah,
no one. I think you're a doofus. Your career will end if you keep it up.
Yes.
Talk about how that wrist hurts. You wussy.
Well, he did get dragged by a guy who's made like $30 million so far this year playing golf. So that could be part of the reason.
That cop is Paul Blart, mall cop.
Last night we gave you the numbers on Ant. Tremendous 115-70, a completely gutless performance from the Nuggets. Here is Anthony Edwards on heading back on the road for game number 7 on Sunday.
Like you said, they're the defending champs. So it's going to be super tough. They're home. They're at the crib. They fans is crazy. It's going to be super loud. But, I mean, I feel like as a competitor, it's like one of the best feelings in the world. I've never played a game 7 on the road, but all my playoff experiences on the road has been, like, super fun because nobody's on your side. So I can just imagine how this game will be and, like, the fans. So I'm super pumped for it. Like, I'm super happy. I'm ready to play it.
Well, that's great. I love his attitude. There's nothing else to say except they're losing.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm going. I'm really surprised. Look, I didn't think Minnesota would win the game. I said that to you yesterday. What really stunned me was how they completely pounded them. I mean, that the Nuggets just didn't even show up in the game was really disturbing to me. Here's Michael Malone. He says the Nuggets, of course, will be ready on Sunday.
Those are the two greatest words in sports, Game 7. So hopefully our guys in front of an amazing crowd will be ready to go, and we have the intangibles the way we've had them for the last 3 games prior to tonight.
I just wanted to follow up on that. What is your experience in Game 7s, and what do you expect on Sunday? Just the unique nature of that game.
Well, our experience is pretty positive, so I'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
Look,
okay.
I think they're going to do the same thing to Minneapolis that they did in the other games. The 3 games they blew them out, they're going to do the same thing again on Sunday. There's no way they're losing that game at home, in my opinion. I'm not even sweating it. That's going to be another one that's a laugher. It'll be over by halftime, and then we got to listen to Doris tell bad jokes.
Oh, my goodness. That's tough. I mean, and look, the majority of these NBA games are blowouts. The majority of them are. We're more surprised when we get a good game that comes down to the end, because you're just expecting the game to not matter in the last 5-10 minutes of the fourth quarter. The numbers for Sunday: Nuggets -4.5, 198.5 is the total. A very low total under 2 bills.
Well, I mean, it is a game 7, so I could see where that number's coming from, but I wouldn't even mess with that. Just lay the 4.5. I think they'll win by 14-20.
I'm with you. I'm on the Nuggets on Sunday. They'll take care of business. They will move on.
Bet it now. Bet MGM. Bet it now. Don't wait. It's going to get worse. It'll be 7 by the time they tip it off.
I would probably agree with that, too. I'm going to save the Knicks, Scotty, for the top of the hour with you because we obviously have a lot to discuss with that. So we will do that after you talk to Gino. There is another game over the weekend we got to get your thoughts on. Game 6 in Dallas tomorrow night between the Thunder and the Mavericks. Of course, Dallas looking to advance to the Western Conference Finals. They are -3.5, 209.5 tomorrow night.
Yeah, I like the over right now and the Mavericks laying 3.5, and I will pounce on that on BetMGM immediately because I don't want that to get worse. I don't want it to go to 4.5, 5.5 because of the money that's going to pour in on them tonight and tomorrow before that game starts. There is no way that after they won in Oak City that they are going home to do anything except celebrate going to the Western Conference Final for the second time in 3 years. They will destroy them tomorrow night, 3.5. Here's another one. They'll win by 10 to 13 points at least, maybe more.
I'm with you. I think that Dallas takes care of business. I think it's an over as well. I'm with you on the total there. We'll get ourselves some points. All right, you'll talk to Gino Bacola, of course, from the Daily Racing Form. Get you ready for the Preakness. And then, Scotty, at the top of the hour, Knicks Pacers, Game 6 in Indiana tonight. I've got a few of the combatants in that for you. Very exciting here as the Knicks look to close it out.
Get the Tums Mafia out of the cabinet.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
A lot of books, and outside of the New York area, the Canes are actually favored in Game 1 of this series. I'm seeing it right now. I'm looking. I see a -115 Canes, Rangers -105.
I like the 6 and 7 games prop, like I took with Boston, Toronto, which we now know is going to cash. I think it's got a chance to go the distance. It's going to be a long, tough, close series.
Sports Rage Late Night, only on SportsGrid.
The Cam Rising stuff last year with Utah, 3 months of pretending he was questionable with a torn ACL, ridiculous.
It's a lot of gray right now when it comes to this stuff, and we really are. When people say we're in like the second or third inning of sports betting, that's why I agree, because there's so many of those situations that are very, very difficult to explain to a novice.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
A surprise winner on the PGA Tour. Taylor Pendrith ends up winning his first PGA Tour win. He was pretty darn lucky to win. Ben Poles should have won that tournament. Also seeking his first PGA Tour victory, he went into the 18th hole, the easiest hole on the golf course, with a one-shot lead, and he was there in 2, just less than 30 feet from the cup.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Cola from Daily Racing Form is here. Thank God. We're getting ready for the Preakness at Pimlico tomorrow. And Gino, good to see you. I'm hearing bad weather. I was talking yesterday to David, and same thing, bad weather. And I've been there in bad weather to Pimlico. I've been to that infield. I've been to the mud fights. I've been to the porta potty races.
I got some video of you, actually, Scotty, running the porta potty. So, yeah, I'm running on top of them doing the dive. So, yeah, it's quite a scene out there. And we used to have Pegasus out there in the infield, and it's a real party at Pimlico out there. It's a different type of atmosphere, but yeah, we keep our fingers crossed and we hope it'll stay as dry as possible, because more than anything, when you get the wet weather, it impacts the racing, right? It impacts the way the races are run. Some horses just don't take to it at all. They don't like it, and so you don't get the same type of results that you'd get if it was a normal sunny day in a fast track.
What did your week like in terms of how it went when you heard that Baffert's Muth was scratched, in terms of your thinking on what you were going to lay down at the window, what you were going to box, what you were going to do? Did it affect your week, or were you one that jumped over to his other horse, Imagination, which a lot of people did with immediacy?
No, it really impacted me quite a bit, because, to be honest, I wasn't as high on Muth on the win end. So for me, trying to beat a horse like Muth is great, because everybody else would offer us a lot of value. Now, with Muth out of the race, all of the other horses that I was really interested in betting, they're going to be so much shorter prices in here. Their win chances will be a little bit better without Muth, but from a gambling standpoint, they're just not going to be offering us the juicy odds like we would have gotten if Muth was in the race. Horses like Tuscan Gold, horses like Imagination, who you mentioned to the outside, even a Catching Freedom, they're just going to be a lot shorter than they would have been. And instead of being 5 or 6 to 1, those horses are probably going to be around 3 to 1 with all the money spread out.
You're basically, I think, rolling with Chad Brown and Tuscan Gold, and then with D-Wayne, with Rosario on top of Just Steel. Why those two? And it sounds like a nice box for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Tuscan Gold is lightly raced. He's coming into this. He's only making his 4th start, and he did not run in the Derby. He has not run in a while, so he's fresh. This has been the plan for him for some time. The race he exited was a strong race, and he was really, really wide all the way around. So wide that you kind of figured he was going to stop at the top of the lane, and he kept trying, and he kept grinding. So I think there's just a lot of upside with him. I think he has the ability to take a big step forward, and I'm envisioning the types of trips that horses in here will get. To me, I always have to play it out in my head. How will it play out? Like what style will this horse need to use in order to win? And I think this is one who can sit maybe just behind the horses that are battling out for the lead. I'd love to see Tuscan Gold sitting like 4th early on in the race. If we're in that position, I'll feel really confident about him giving the best run that he can. And then with the other horse, that to me might be the value play in the race. That's the number 7, Just Steel. D-Wayne Lucas has won the Preakness 6 times previously. He knows how to do this. Just Steel is actually the horse who's raced the most. In 12 months since he's been racing, he has raced 12 times. He's super old school. He's a throwback horse. And what I like about him, he has some versatility to him. He showed speed in the Kentucky Derby, and I think with Joel Rosario jumping aboard on as his jockey on Saturday, I think they're kind of tipping their hand that they're going to take him back a little bit more, and they're going to have him off the pace. So I'd love to see the 2 horses I'm using. I want them to be sitting like 4th and 5th right next to each other with a little bit of a battle going on in front of them.
That, Gino, race over the years, and I said this yesterday, I'm going to say it again and get your thoughts on it, has always been a pace speed race. Horses at Pimlico in this Preakness, they jump out, and we've seen wire to wires many times over the years. What horse do you think is going to come out first and try to set that pace and try to go belly to belly?
It has to be Imagination. He's drawn to the outside, and if you look at a lot of his previous races, when he's sat off of horses and tried to close, he doesn't really like to run that way. He kind of looms up, and he starts to hang a little bit. So I think they were going to get aggressive. I think they're going to put him out on the front end. They're going to try to play come and catch me. Bob Baffert has done this many times in the Preakness. He's won it 8 times. He did it last year with National Treasure. So without Muth, you were, I think, hitting on that. A lot of the money is going to shift over to him. And as we finish up, I just want to let all the viewers out there know, shop.drf.com. That's the place you want to go this weekend before you make all your Preakness wagers. That'll get you the past performances, the help with the betting strategies, everything you guys need to see to succeed this weekend with the Preakness.
It used to be Penthouse for me, Gino, but now I'm on the daily racing form. You've changed me dramatically from my earlier ways. Thank God for you, Gino.
Missed call the entire game, whether it's a charge or a block or a deflection.